Hey BookTube, let me start by apologizing for being gone for so long. I actually had issues with the camera that I was using. So I ended up going by a new camera, which I'm filming on right now. And it is a Canon 70D, EOS 70D. I think it's brand new. I think it just came out. It's super awesome. I'm so in love with it. And I love the quality of the pictures and everything. I'm just really super excited about it. But anyway, so that's why I haven't filmed any videos. So now I have a brand new camera and I'm going to be making tons of videos. There's so many things I wanted to talk about and catch up on with you guys. So let me just start with my February wrap up. So this is what I read in February. February was a really tough month for me. We had tons of snow here. I live in New Jersey and we just got dumped on in the month of February. And so with that means there were school closings. And with school closings, that means the kids are home. And when the kids are home, that means mommy's not reading. So it was a little tough. I was a little disappointed I didn't get to read, but nonetheless, I still managed to read 8 books, and that's not bad. I'm totally happy with that. So let me start out with the one I read on my Kindle Paperwhite. Here it is. I'll just show it to you. It's called, sorry for the glare, it's called Moan for Bigfoot by Virginia Wade. Okay, so with the embarrassing part aside, the book itself, it was okay. It was really funny. I laughed a lot, but it was a good book. I actually enjoyed it for my first erotica. It kind of got my feet wet, so to speak, and it was okay. It was okay. It was, like I said, it was really, really funny, so I liked it in that aspect. As far as the erotic part of it, it was very graphic, very detailed, but it was a fun read. It was just, I don't know why I would start with something like this, but it was good. It was nice. I think I did give it a 4 out of 5 on my Goodreads. Every month I want to read a graphic novel. And last month I chose Maus 1 and Maus 2. That was based on the concentration camps, and I went through all that in my wrap up. So this month I chose Blue is the Warmest Color by Julie Marrow. Sorry if I'm not pronouncing that properly. This was actually really good. I thoroughly enjoyed this. I know they made a movie out of it. I haven't watched the movie yet, but I did enjoy this book. It's about a young girl in high school / maybe early college. She's kind of finding herself. She's not sure whether she's a lesbian or not. She's questioning whether it's right or wrong, and she's kind of uncomfortable in her own skin. And she finds a friend, someone that she can trust, and kind of falls for them. And it's just kind of that journey. It was very sad. It was sad, but it was really, really good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And the pictures were actually, it's very nice because you see the girl with the blue hair. It's kind of, yeah. It was really good. I highly recommend it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. So that was one of my reads for February. This next book I'm sure is not going to be a surprise to anyone because in January I read The Darkest Minds, and I let you guys know how much I love that. And of course for February I had to read Never Fade by Alexandra Bracken. I loved it. I read it, and I can't wait for the third one to come out. I'm definitely going to read it. So that was that. This next book I was supposed to read with a read-along back in January, and I had ordered it and it never came in, and there was a huge mix-up, and so I missed it. I wasn't able to do the read-along with Ginger Reads Laney, I believe is her name. I'm sorry if I got that mixed up, but she was doing a read-along with this book last month, and I couldn't join in. I wanted to, but I couldn't, so I read it this month. It's Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Laini Taylor. I actually really, really like this book. And this book, I actually had to take my time with it. And not because it was difficult for me to read or understand or keep up with, but it kind of felt good. I usually kind of breeze through my books and I just read, and you know, if I'm sitting, if all I have is an hour, I'm reading that entire hour to the very last minute. You know, I kind of like devour my books, but this one I actually took my time with, and I thoroughly enjoyed it that way. It was a story that I just kind of took in dibs and drabs, and, you know, just enjoyed it and went along on the ride, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I do have the second one, so I'll be reading that this month, March. Today's March 3rd, by the way. So yeah, I'm really excited to get on to the second one. I thoroughly enjoyed the characters in this. The world building was amazing. And it was, you know, there was a couple moments that kind of, it was a little heartfelt, like, you know, wow, the things that they're going through. But yeah, really liked it. I highly recommend it. Okay, this next book, this is my first Patrick Ness book, and I decided to read A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness. Okay, where do I even begin with this book? Can I just say how amazing these illustrations are? Seriously, this book just took you on a ride, not only with the story itself and the amazing writing, but as well with the pictures. It's just little drawings here and there, but it just made the experience in reading this all the better. This story, oh my goodness, can I just say, I got so emotional. It just took me, it affected me on a level that I have not been affected since I was a child and I read my first book that made me emotional. I've mentioned in a previous video how that's what I look for in books. I love to be triggered emotionally, whether it be anger or fear or sadness. I really look for an emotional attachment to a book. And I look for those triggers when I read. This did it for me on a level I can't even. My husband, when I got to the end of this book, he looked at me and he's like, he thought someone died. Like, I just got the worst news ever and someone died. I was bawling. When I tell you sobbing, disgusting mess, that was me by the end of this book. Now, what Patrick Ness did in the brilliance of his writing, in the beginning of this book, you pretty much know the end result, in a sense. You kind of know where it's going to go and you know what's going to happen. But it takes a brilliant writer to be able to take you on a journey knowing the outcome and still affect you in that way. I mean, no matter how I saw this ending coming, when it came, just the way it all wrapped up, go read it. That's all. I'm sorry, I just babbled there. Go read it. It was amazing. 5 out of 5. Okay, so after I read A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness, and the emotional mess that I was in and affected that way, I needed something a little bit of a lighter read and happier and not so heavy and emotional. So I decided to pick up Dash and Lily's Book of Dares by Rachel Cohn and David Levithan. Here it is. Love this little book. Can I just say I wanted to run out and get myself a red Moleskine? I'm just saying. If you read this book, you know what I'm talking about. But it was so just light and airy and fun and funny, and it was a really nice adventure. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I highly recommend it, and it was the perfect thing for me to read after reading The Darkest Mind, you know, which is, Never Fade, which is, you know, a dense kind of reading. And then Patrick Ness, A Monster Calls, was just like heavy on my emotions. So this was the perfect thing for me to pick up and just sit and relax and just read and go along on the ride. And it was super happy and really cute. And I really enjoyed this. This was perfect. Then I picked up Number the Stars by Lois Lowry. Now, I read The Giver last month by Lois Lowry, so I was interested in picking something up. Now, I know The Giver continues on. There's like The Messenger, I think it's called, and The Sun, I think it was the last one that came out. I was content with The Giver and where it ended. I enjoyed the story there. I kind of feel like if it went on it might be kind of stretched out. I didn't see how you can go on like 3 more books or whatever it was. So I was happy where it ended. I decided not to go on with that series. So, but I still enjoyed the book and I enjoyed her writing, so I decided to pick up Number the Stars by Lois Lowry. And this takes us on a journey of 2 girls. They were best friends. And one of the girls this was obviously during the time of the concentration camps and the Nazi war and all of that. So, you know, they were best friends. One of them was Jewish and they had to hide out the friend and the family. And it's kind of like that journey. It's really, really short. It was actually, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. It's about 135 pages. Yeah, about that. It's really short. In one sitting, I read it. And it was really good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I like the way Lois Lowry writes. You know, it's a very simple writing, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just a great, she has a good writing style that just kind of, you know, brings you into the story very quickly. It's easy to read. You can get through it. And I enjoyed that. So, Number the Stars. Then I read Holes by Louis Sachar. That one. That is who I read. Okay. This was made into a movie as well, and I really wanted to watch the movie, but I don't like watching movies without reading the book, so I decided to read the book first and then I watched the movie. And can I just say that maybe it's just me, but this movie was probably the only movie that I've ever seen that was literally almost word for word. Like, I felt like I could have sat there watching the movie with my book open and go along and like reading it and having it happen to me in front of the TV. Like, it was actually really cool. The only thing that was different between the book and the movie was the description of the main character. In the book, it mentions how he's a little bit heavyset, and while he's on this journey, he loses some weight. In the movie, that's not the case. He's kind of very thin frame, you know, from beginning to end. And so that's the only difference I saw in it. If I'm going to give it a critique, that would be the only thing I could say that was negative about it. So, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. Great story. It was a great adventure. It was really good. It was really, really good. And like I said, the movie adaptation was excellent. I mean, it was exactly what was in the book. You're not going to be misled. If you do happen to see the movie prior to reading the book, you're not missing much. They actually did a really good job, I think, in the adaptation. Correct me if I'm wrong. You know, let me know if you've read the book and watched the movie. But I really, really liked it. I give it 4 out of 5 stars. So that is it, guys. Those are the 8 books that I read this month. And I won't be doing TBRs. Okay, here's the thing. I'm not going to be doing TBRs because I feel kind of like I'm being held back in my reading experience. The way I choose my books, after I finish a book, depending on what my emotions were and how I felt, whether I liked it, whether I hated it, whatever it was, whatever mood I'm in, is how I determine what the next book is going to be. So, for example, like I read, you know, A Monster Calls, and I was just emotionally drained and I needed something lighthearted, so I picked Dash and Lily. So I can't predict that ahead of time and go ahead and pick a bunch of books that I want to read in a month. So I won't be doing TBRs. I'm just going to read what I want when I want, and that's how that's going to roll. But yeah, so that's what I read this month. I'm sorry I'm a little late. I'm sorry I was gone for so long, but like I said, I got this new camera. I hope you guys enjoy the quality and I hope it's coming across. Hope you liked my February reads. And what else? Stay tuned for a haul. My first haul ever. I placed an order on Book Outlet and I got that in. It's actually going to be an unboxing. I'll do it on camera and that'll be coming up next. And thank you so much for watching, guys, and subscribe and like and comment and all that fun stuff. And I will see you guys later. Bye!